Well, how you going, everyone? Josh the Collector Guy. As I always say at the start of each vid, hope you had an awesome week this week, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever you did this week, hope you're able to have a hunt here and there at flea markets, swap meets, yard sales, whatever you did, everyone. Hope you're able to find some awesome cars this week, everyone. Hope you had an awesome week. Well, got a big, massive explosion of finds this week, everyone. Got a whole heap of Redlines here from eBay. Some Dale Earnhardt Cars from eBay as well. How tough is that Lumina? Absolutely awesome as. Get to these near the end of the vid. Got a very awesome pavement pounder just here. Probably one of the rarest, well, sort of Bywaymans and that to get. Got another one of his Mad Mates here, and also the normal Bywaman. To get to them very soon. But first up, we'll start off with some flea market finds. Went to a flea market on Saturday and Sunday today. Well, actually went to one yesterday, two today. Only found this one at the two flea markets I went to today, so not too bad, I guess. The old little micro races or whatever they were called, I forget their name now. The old colour changer version of the Porsche, very cool. Don't mind this year of Porsche either. Had a bit of the Tampo rubbed off and that, but they're pretty cool little series. I quite like them. I always try and buy what ones I can of this little series, so it's pretty cool. So, and she was pretty cheap as well, so how can you resist? And these three guys here were from the flea market yesterday on Saturday. Got the old screaming wheels here on the old Mazda. As you can see, the wheels are slotted. That's why it was called the screaming wheels, I guess. Not that you can tell by that on the track. It probably made much more of a high-pitched sound, so that one's not too bad. Don't have too many of those in the collection. Got the little matchbox here, old Maid of Macau. She's at least from the 80s, I reckon. Very cool, looks like a little cartoon version of an F1 car. Very cool indeed. Not too bad condition as well, these ones. And one from the 90s, the old BMW here, the old M3. Not a bad looking car either, very cool. Pretty much mint condition. Love the ultra hot wheels, very cool indeed. Don't think I had this car when I was a kid, but I do now, so that's pretty cool. Always awesome to get cars from your childhood. That's what I always say. Even if you never had them when you're a kid, it's always good to get them now. It brings back a lot of good memories of the era you grew up with the die-casts like the Matchboxes and Hot Wheels and that. So I reckon that was some pretty cool finds from the flea market. Now we'll get to the massive amount of eBay finds today. From this week, sorry. The old Bywaman. I think I've got another one of the exact same truck somewhere, but she was pretty cheap. Probably one of the cheapest Bywaymans you'd probably ever get. How tough is that truck? You know I love this truck to bits, everyone. The old grey hub. Very cool indeed. With the old toolboxes in the back. There's variations without the toolbox. I don't think there's any others besides that. So that's really cool to get. The old Super Scraper. Now the other version of this one I have is pretty much mint condition. She's missing the plow as well, but I think one of her wheels has come off. So this one sort of, well, has all the wheels, so I'll probably put her on one of my shelves anyway. She looks pretty cool. Someone obviously scratched the tampo off or something. And the plows always seem to be missing on these trucks. And probably one of the coolest, well, Bywaymans or whatever in the collection, the old pavement pounder here. In my personal opinion, this is probably one of the rarest ones, along with the red, I think she's called the Super Scraper or Power Plow, one or the other anyway. There's so many different names for these trucks, it's hard to keep track. So at least I got like sort of a decent version of her at the moment, but she's got a bit of character to her, and I know I'd love to get one carded, but I saw one on eBay, I think the other day, for around $60, and that's a bit dear at the moment. But anyway, that's still pretty cool to have this one in the collection anyway. Very cool indeed. You know I love this truck a bit, so I just can't resist it. Now we move on to the mighty Dale Earnhardt Cars. Got these in the mail this week. I was super excited to get these because I don't have too many bigger scale Dale Earnhardt cars in the collection. I've made some room on my shelf and display these proudly. They're absolutely awesome but we'll start off with the smaller scale stuff here. Got these two little guys limited to 15,000 each. The old Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Dale Sr. one. the old last lap of the century. It was a race raced back in November 1999. I think a lot of the cars were done up in this special sort of paint scheme and that. So it's pretty cool. I absolutely love the look of it. The two Earnhardt ones, of course. Very cool indeed. Good little memento for 1999, but what the cars looked like back then, so that was pretty cool. The old last lap of the century. One of my personal favourite Dale Earnhardt cars, the old Atlanta Olympics one from 1996, the old red, white and blue, and I've actually got a bigger scale one right up the top there. I remember Dad bought that for me at one of my diecast meets, so it's good to have the little scale one as well. Don't know what this one's limited to. Obviously it was probably, well, I reckon's limited edition, but I like it when they say the numbers so you know how much there is of one. But that one's really cool. I know this is one of Dad's favourite Earnhardt cars, or if not his favourite. I always love the NASCARs with the red, white and blue paint scheme or the American flag on it. They look awesome as. Little Dale Jr. one now. This is for, from what I can gather, like little kids ones, like a little kids collectible one. This was his Budweiser car, but a very interesting thing about this car is there is no Budweiser sponsorship on it. Well, of course you don't want kids to see Budweiser on a car. So that one's pretty cool. I had to get that. That was pretty cheap as well. Good little tiny one. Now to these two guys. Got the old Oreo GM Goodwrench car, the old Monte Carlo. Now this one was raced for the Bud Shootout just a week before Dale Earnhardt's death, and which is pretty sad. But this one's pretty cool looking. It's got the blacked out windows and everything. Looks very mean. Of course they didn't have blacked out windows because you couldn't bloody see when you're driving. So that one's pretty cool. Bit of a sad memento though, but very cool to add to the collection. Good little variety of Dale Earnhardt cars. So very cool indeed. And as always, they've got really good details on these NASCAR cars. You can see the almighty Chev engine in there. Very cool indeed. Now, probably my favourite, the almighty Lumina. One of my personal favourite Dale Earnhardt cars. Had to get this one. Very cool indeed. It was raced back in 1989, which was the Lumina was actually introduced midway through I think the NASCAR season. I could be wrong. And it debuted. The first race Dale Earnhardt raced with this Lumina, he finished 8th. And then 3 races after that, he took the old Lumina to victory lane for the very first time. And it was at the Monster Mile at Dover. So he won his first race at Dover and also gave the first win for the almighty Lumina that season. So that was very cool indeed. How's that information for you, everyone? I'm struggling to try and remember all of it, but I thought I'd share with you some information about the awesome Dale Earnhardt cars. You know I absolutely love the man to bits, and even Dale Jr. as well. Not pretty much all the Chevy guys in the NASCAR, so very cool. Glad to have gotten them this week. I know there's plenty more I'm after as well in the Dale Earnhardt cars. I just don't know if I'll have enough shelf room. Now, last but not least, everyone, we'll get to the mighty Redlines. I'll cycle through a few of them for you. I probably won't mention every single one. Or watch me, I probably will. The old bug eye there, very cool. I think this one's the Torero or Turbo Fire, one or the other. Yep, Torero in the rose red colour, very nice indeed. Just a few of your basics just there in the Redlines. There's the Turbo Fire. Little Volkswagen for Dad, very cool and very cool indeed. Don't have too many of the little Volkswagens, so, and such a tiny little model. So cool indeed though, probably with a blown Chev engine, but I am biased. Very cool indeed. She's a little bit beaten up, but that's what I love about the old Redlines. They have a few scrapes on them, but they always got lots of stories to tell. Very nice little McLaren. Nice little Mustang here, I have to admit, with red interior. And no Redline wheels really. Or worn down. Without a bonnet either. Still very cool though. Very awesome Sizzler. Haven't seen this one before. I've only seen it in my Tom Mart's book. Looks like an old Can-Am car. Very cool as indeed. Such a tough looking car. Sort of reminds me of a Chaparral a bit, of course. It's got that sort of a shape. Very nice little car. Another one of my little Nomads. As you can see, I got the other one just there. I don't know if you can sort of tell. I reckon the paint's a bit different, but this one seems to be more vibrant and darker and probably a little bit of toning, whereas this one's like a little bit lighter and she's a bit beaten up, but she's still pretty cool. I'll take her. I love my Nomads. Absolutely love them. The old Brabham Repco F1 here. It's a bit sad he only just passed away as well, Sir Jack Brabham. Probably one of the all-time greats of motor racing and probably one of the greatest motor racing stars of Australia. Very cool indeed. And I'm pretty sure one of his cars actually went for $1 million as well. I could be wrong, but it was actually before he passed away as well. I can only imagine what the price would have been if the sale was after his passing. You'd probably get into the 2 millions or whatever. I don't know who has that money lying around. Very cool old Hot Bird here. Second one for the collection. Got the old zip line thing. You hang it off the zip line because in the sets you hang it on the zip line and you go down like that, or if that makes sense or whatever. So that's pretty cool to have that little attachment still there because they always seem to be missing. Looks like it's got the Canadian maple leaf there, which is pretty cool. Probably the Canadian Air Force. Bit of toning at the bottom and that, like a little corrosion and that. But surprisingly, she's still got all her wheels, so that's pretty cool, I have to admit. Because usually the wheels are either missing and something else, some other bits as well. So that's very cool. I quite like the Hot Birds, another second tier series from Hot Wheels back in the day. Almost forgot this guy, the old Noodlehead. Probably one of my favourite cars and also one of the ones I've been after for a very long time. Obviously you can see why it was called the Noodlehead. These days I think it's called the Noodleist. The wheels on the left hand side come off, unfortunately, and as probably you're about to see, like that. Very cool little car though. Very nice indeed. Glad to add it to the collection. Now we get to probably my favourites of the bunch here, the old Sidekick. Another car I've been after for quite a while. Very cool little feature on her. I'll try and, I know it's a bit delicate this one because it's probably a bit jammed as well. But anyway, you pull that out, the side comes out, you push that in, the side goes in, if that makes sense. Very cool looking car. It's been on my most wanted list for quite a while now, so glad to have one in the collection. Another one of these little mighty Chaparrals. I think that's the gold colour. Still got the wing as well. Always seem to be missing the wing, the little Chaparrals, and she's a USA base. Can't get any better than that. Absolutely awesome as. And got another one of these Firebirds. That's why I've got these three here to show you another variation of them. As you can see, she's the blue colour, just like all of these. She's got a brown interior, just like her USA counterpart just here, but she's the Hong Kong base. She's got the black steering wheel and the light blue tinted windows, so pretty awesome variation. I've now got 4. Each one is different to the other, so that's really awesome to have. You know I love my variations, everyone. They're so much fun to find, but yet just a little bit hard to always find variations on them and that. It's just like you're always trying to look and that. It's a bit hard to see sometimes, but when you do spot a different variation, it's always good to grab because it gives you more variety in the collection of one of the cars you love, or if not just a random car. You just see all the variations. It's all awesome to see. Like you line these guys up, how awesome is that? You can spot out the different variation on each. So very cool indeed. Well, that brings us to the end of the vid this week, ladies and gentlemen. Hope I didn't jabber on too much for you, but I hope I gave you some information what I've only just learnt this last week. So thanks for watching, everyone. Really do appreciate it. Thank you, subscribers, whoever, whatever. Thank you very much for tuning in each week, everyone. Really do appreciate it. Always enjoy reading the comments and writing back to you all. Well, that's it for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Really hope you enjoyed. And remember, as always, everyone, happy hunting. Keep the hobby strong. See you later, everyone. Have an awesome week.